I don't know why you dragged us out to the middle of nowhere.
Come on, change is good sometimes.
I get that, but we could have been happy doing our usual theme park thing. We could be waiting for illuminations as we speak.
We can't always be at a theme park. Besides, I think I might have the next best thing. Here, try this.
I seriously doubt a cup of coffee can make me any happier about our little adventurous expedition you have us on, let alone make me forget we passed up the Magic Kingdom for this.
Would you stop talking for 2 seconds and just try it?
Whoa, this is good. Like, really good. Where'd you find this, Starbucks?
Nope, this is Expedition Roasters, the artisanal roasters of specialty pop culture inspired coffees. You happen to be drinking Enchanted Tiki Coconut.
Wait, these are theme park inspired?
Yep, honestly, it's the next best thing to actually being in the parks.
What other flavors do they have?
If you want to embrace your inner Haunted Mansion, they have some Happily Never After, which features flavors of New Orleans pralines. And if you want to do your best Dapper Dan impression, you can grab some Main Street USA Colombian. And the best part is that all of their coffees are gluten-free and allergen-free.
That's fantastic. Let me see the bag. Whoa, these bags don't look like any other coffee I've seen.
That's because each one of the bags has unique custom artwork by guest artists. It makes it a little more fun to display in the kitchen than a boring bag.
That's cool. They're almost collectible. We're gonna have to buy more when we get home.
Well, since you like this one so much, maybe when we get home we can go to expeditionroasters.com and buy some more great coffee and maybe some fun mugs and shirts, too.
This means we can have theme park magic every day of the week. This is the next best thing.
Do you feel a little better now? You're caffeinated and you have a little bit of the parks here with you.
Much better. Maybe being out in nature isn't so bad after all. But I may prefer the animatronic animals better. This coffee may be the only type of adventure I need in my life. Start your expedition today at expeditionroasters.com and use coupon code DUO15 to save 15% off any purchase of Expedition Roasters themed coffees. Brew your happy place. Expedition Roasters, an adventure in every bag.
Hi, and welcome to the Theme Park Duo podcast. Grab your park map, churro, and hop in line with us as we take you on a coast-to-coast adventure through the world of theme parks, haunts, conventions, and more. Now, here's your hosts, Nikki and Gabriel.
Hello, all you theme park fans out there. Welcome back to the Theme Park Duo podcast. I'm Gabe.
And I'm Nikki.
And we are the Theme Park Duo. And we have a fun episode lined up for you guys. We're going to be heading over to Universal Studios Hollywood to be checking out the Dreamworks Theater featuring Kung Fu Panda, The Emperor's Quest.
Awesome.
So this is going to be like a on-location style episode, huh?
Yeah, we haven't done one of those in a while, since last haunt season.
D23.
No, haunt
right?
season.
Which haunt did we do?
Oh, well, haunt season, but it was I believe it was at Midsummer Scream last year.
Oh, you're right. I think you might be right. If she's wrong, let us know.
That was around the same time as D23, though, so.
Yeah, around the same time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, it's been a while, so yeah, on location.
It's been a while.
And you know what? Honestly, I might want to record every podcast in Hogsmeade with a butterbeer in my hand.
Spoiler alert, we're recording in Hogsmeade with butterbeers in our hands. Mine may or may not include fire whiskey. Who knows? We'll just see where the day takes us. I don't like putting boundaries on myself. We'll just see what happens. You know what I mean? So you're going to be hearing that a little later in the episode. But before we get to that, let's jump right into the Theme Park Bulletin. So the first thing that we're going to be talking about right now is something that we actually mentioned a few episodes ago as one of the major rumors that was going to be coming along with Disneyland, with Star Wars Land, and that is park-specific blackout dates.
Yeah, now it's real life.
Now, is this real life? Pulling back to those old weird YouTube videos of kids that are hopped up on painkillers from the dentist. Anyway, moving on. Yes, this is real life now. Disneyland is now rolling out these new blackout dates that are very park specific. And if you look at them, you could definitely get a sense of when Star Wars Land is going to be opening.
Yeah.
It just kind of looking at June, or was it June or July? It was one of those months. I think it was June. Next year's June with DCA next to June with Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's just such a drastic comparison between the two with the blackout dates. So
We should specify that I think it's only deluxe and lower.
it might be deluxe and lower.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, every pass is going to have park-specific blackout dates other than the ones that, like, obviously don't have any blackout dates. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it has blackout dates, it's going to be park-specific.
Which one do you have?
I have the second to the top.
I think that one's not affected.
But I have blackout dates, though.
Well, yeah, you have blackout dates, but I don't think you have park specific.
Interesting.
I might be wrong, but I remember even James from last episode was saying he was relieved that his pass wasn't affected. So, and I think he has the same one as you.
That means you're affected.
I am, but you're not going without me.
Well, do you want to upgrade?
Either I upgrade or you just don't go without me.
I'd rather you upgrade.
Okay, we'll discuss it because
I would go without you,
these
and I'm
changes-
just not. I'm not willing to go through the fights that's gonna cause.
these changes do not go into effect till next year. Prices will also probably be going up on them.
Are you kidding me? They'll probably go up at least 3 times between now and then.
Yeah, so we may or may not decide to upgrade my pass.
It might be a good idea to upgrade now.
Well, no, because I'm paying.
Well, I guess it doesn't matter
no,
now.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter.
No,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. So we'll cross that
Yeah,
when we get there.
we'll get there.
But this is the situation: is that now this is real life. There will be park-specific blackout dates.
It's rather drastic. Like if you look at the number of days that you won't be able to go to Disneyland, but you'll be able to go to California Adventure.
I mean, I think this is one of the few ways that they're going to actually be able to control the crowds to a certain extent. I don't know how any other way they're going to be doing it other than not selling as many tickets,
Yeah.
which would be really stupid because just looking at it from a business standpoint, you're making more money on your daily tickets than you are from these annual pass holders every month.
Yeah.
So why would you limit the amount of tickets you would sell to allow these annual pass holders come in?
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. It is just drastic. I mean, we were even looking at my deluxe, which is not a cheap pass. It's almost $1,000. If you look at July of 2019, wasn't it like I couldn't go any Friday, Saturday, or Sunday?
pretty
I
much
mean, that's crazy.
you can go Monday through Thursday
Yeah.
for the first like 3 weeks of the month.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess there's an argument to be made that you're still technically getting a certain type of value out of your pass. What
Yeah,
you're paying
but if you
for.
work a 9-to-5 job, you're not. So.
Oh, you're definitely
Yeah.
not going to be able to go. But if it's a deluxe pass, I don't feel like it should be hindered that much. But then again, if you look at the passes below that, I haven't looked at those blackout dates from below a deluxe pass. I can't imagine what they look like.
I know.
I can't imagine what they look
Well,
like.
it was like, I think it was the Southern California one. It was something like there was only 10 days where you could go to both parks.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. Something
That's
like that.
rough.
Yeah. Out of the month.
Honestly, if it's going to keep people out and make it a little less crowded, I'm okay with that because I'm never going to have that pass. I'm always going to have a higher pass because it just works out for us having me have the one that has the parking and we get the photos.
Yeah.
So it always works out for us.
Yeah.
But if it's going to keep the crowds lower without really making things worse, I'm okay with it. I'm fine with that. I mean, the only other thing to do was to get rid of the monthly payment plan.
Which they're not going to do.
They might.
I don't think they're going to do it. And I have one very specific reason. The monthly payment plan is like Disney saying, okay, guaranteed we are making this much money every month. Because
That's true.
They can see it. They're like, okay, there are, I'm just throwing out a random number, 10,000 people with annual passes who are all making monthly payments. So guaranteed we are making X amount of dollars every month.
Could you make the argument that this is turning into a very different conversation, but could you make the argument that if they got rid of monthly payments and they lose a certain, so we say we're gonna just use your number 10,000. We say there's 10,000 annual pass holders. And if they get rid of monthly payments, and that cuts in half to 5,000 annual pass holders who just pay up front, could you make the argument that that allows for more room for people who aren't annual pass holders to come and spend more money? Because it's already been proven that annual pass holders don't spend as much money as people who are visiting for like the first time or just coming back, or you know what I mean, who aren't locals.
Yeah.
They spend a lot more money there. Could you make that argument that they could still make up the money that they're losing by having room for more people to come visit?
I mean, the argument could be made, but I don't know if, like, in reality, it would equal out, because I guarantee if you said no more monthly payments, you lose way more than half.
Oh, you would lose a huge chunk.
Way more than half
of people, but it would also think about it. If you cut the monthly payments, you would solve, that would be like 5 birds with 1 stone of the problems.
Poor birds.
It would solve the overcrowding. It would solve these self-entitled pass holes who come in and act like they own the place. And then a whole bunch of other issues with fast passes and line times and all this other stuff. It would solve a lot of problems.
It would. I agree.
But and you know what? I'm fully okay with saying that, because guess what? We do the monthly payments.
Yeah.
We do that.
Yeah.
If there was no monthly payments, I don't know if we would have such a high pass.
No, we wouldn't.
To be honest.
We definitely wouldn't. We'd have a lower pass, or maybe just no pass at all and just go like 2 or 3 times a year.
Honestly, it'd probably make more sense to do that.
Yeah.
But we'll see where Disney goes with this after doing this, because it doesn't really seem like, you know, the public's opinion really comes into account for their decisions at this point.
No. They know they're making
this.
money anyway.
Yeah, they're making money. I mean, once Star Wars opens up, it's going to be a madhouse, regardless of what happens. You know, I even guarantee you people who have passes who are blocked out will probably buy tickets just to go.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I definitely see that happening. And staying along those lines with Disney and Disneyland specifically, our next little piece of news is that they're going to be adding FastPass to Pirates of the Caribbean. And I simply cannot explain to you how much I think this is a terrible idea. I think it's a horrendous idea to be adding FastPass to Pirates of the Caribbean, an attraction whose line, although sometimes can get long, is actually extremely efficient and moves really fast. You know, sometimes we'll be going in that line, and I know that we've had experiences like this, where the line will be outside and up and over the bridge, but we'll be in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It moves. It's extremely efficient, and I think that adding FastPass is only going to hinder that experience and make it worse.
I think it will make the standby time slightly worse. I don't know. I'm not like terribly for it or terribly against it. You know, I guess I'm falling into the middle. But I guess we'll just have to see how it all pans out, and if they even keep it around, or, you know, it might be like Haunted Mansion where they only open it when it's really busy, you know, something like that. So we'll see.
If my memory serves me correctly, I'm almost 100% positive that they had it before.
Yeah?
Yeah. For some reason, I remember Pirates having it before, and then they got rid of it.
I wonder where their distribution area will be.
I honestly, I really have no clue. I mean, maybe it's going to be like on the side. Maybe they'll get rid of like that extended queue portion that's in between the building and Tarzan's treehouse.
Maybe, but I was thinking that could be where the FastPass entrance is.
I think the FastPass entrance is going to be at the front, because they already have the scanners already built in there at the entrance of the ride.
They could make it in the front and make one ramp up just for FastPass, and then kind of extend the twistiness of the other line through the bottom portion more, if that makes sense. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No, I don't get what you're trying to say.
Well, you know how there's like a left and right ramp?
Yeah, we always go right.
We always go right, but say they take the left ramp and don't make you weave through the middle first. They just have you go straight up the ramp, and then that weaving through the middle part, if they just add it to the line for the right side.
I get what you're saying,
yeah,
to a certain extent. That would be hard, though, because you would have to cross one to go through the other.
Not if you just have the left one, the FastPass line, just hug the wall and just go straight up, kind of.
Oh, I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, that would work. I think also my concern with adding FastPass is that already without FastPass, the line can extend over the bridge. Mm-hmm. Imagine adding another 15 to 20 minutes to that wait because of FastPass on extremely busy days.
Oh, it'll get bad.
Where is that line gonna go?
Yeah.
Is it gonna wrap all the way around Tarzan's treehouse and come back to the front of it? Like, it has nowhere to go.
Yeah.
The infrastructure of Disneyland, although unique and, semi-organic, it wasn't built for these massive crowds that are bombarding it these days.
Yeah.
And especially that part of Pirates is simply not built to handle it. So I don't know where all those people are gonna go if that ever happens.
Yeah.
I just think it's not a good idea, especially given the fact that it does okay.
Yeah. And I don't know. It feels like the only reason they're putting it in is because of all the hype about the redhead, and it's like that's not going to be big enough of a draw to make the line any bigger than it already. Maybe for like a week, and then it's going to go back to normal.
Maybe there's that, but then maybe there's also one more fast pass to keep people from getting other fast passes, possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, but I don't know how that solves a problem without causing a bigger problem somewhere else.
Yeah.
With these two different stories that we've had right now about Disneyland with the AP specific plug updates, and now this, we could definitely tell that Disneyland has a problem. There's definitely a problem.
Yeah, it's the crowds.
Crowds and infrastructure and,
Yeah.
a lot of other things. And it's getting rough.
Yeah.
It's getting real rough. Not to be a downer. Wah, wah, wah. Don't want to be a downer about this, but it's true that there is a problem here that needs to be solved. I don't know how they're going to solve it, but...
Well, there's a reason why we only kind of really, like 99% of the time, only go to Disneyland at opening, and we're usually gone by 11.
It's because it gets too insane.
Because it gets too insane. And, like, we just took your parents last week, and specifically only went to California Adventure because we knew they would just hate their day at Disneyland.
Which, by the way, we mentioned that we were going to do that on One Little Spark. We said we're going to hold out hope that the day wasn't going to be bad. Guess what? The day was awesome.
It was a wonderful day.
On a Thursday, it was slightly crowded, but using Max Pass and getting around and just the way that park is able to handle crowds, it made it so much easier. And especially for my parents not wanting to stress out, they didn't, not a minute. So that was perfection.
Yeah.
So.
But the day would have gone a completely different direction if we had taken them to Disneyland. And it is very sad to know 100% that people visiting the park for the first time in a long time would have an absolutely horrendous day if they had gone to Disneyland.
I mean, we went to Disneyland right after my parents had left.
It was stressful.
And I said, they would have hated this.
They would have.
Because that day, it was absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
It was bonkers. And my mom was in a wheelchair. And I was having a hard time traversing Tomorrowland by myself, walking. Mm-hmm. Let alone with a wheelchair. That would have been insane.
Yeah. But bright side, you made it through the single rider for Space Mountain in about 10 minutes.
100-minute wait. Got through in 10.
Yeah.
Amazing! Single rider is amazing for Space Mountain. I loved it.
Yeah.
So I got to ride it before it went away.
Yeah. Hyperspace Mountain.
Hyperspace Mountain, that is. Don't worry, everyone. Space Mountain's not going anywhere. I just wanted to ride Hyperspace one more time.
Yeah.
Let's move away from some of this negative that we've just started and go to a little bit of positive. Yes, you did. You turned it positive. But let's go even more positive, Nikki.
Okay. We did a fun thing today. We went to a Universal event, not at Universal Studios, but it was at a MEND location in the San Fernando Valley. And MEND is like a charity organization. It stands for Meet Each Need with Dignity, and it's an organization that helps low-income families all around the San Fernando Valley. And they teamed up with the Universal Studios to have a Christmas in Spring event.
It was really cool. It was a lot of fun, albeit hot beyond all belief.
It was.
It was still really cool
happens.
Because Universal Studios brought out their characters which isn't something that happens all the time.
Yeah.
So they brought them out for the kids to enjoy because they're not going to get the same experience as a lot of other people do. They don't have the opportunity to go spend a whole day at Universal Studios or any other theme park for that matter all the time.
Yeah.
So they were able to bring out Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, SpongeBob, Puss in Boots, the Minions, and even they even had Santa Claus.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You got to take your picture with Santa, you got your picture printed out, and then every kid got a Minion stuffed animal like plush as they left. So it was very nice. And Universal Studios has actually been doing this Christmas and Spring event for 27 years.
That's a long
this
time.
is their 27th year doing the event. And in that time, they have touched the lives of over 16,000 family members living in poverty in the San Fernando Valley. They provide them with holiday cheer during a time of year when their needs are often overlooked. So I just think it was wonderful. There was carnival games, there was face painting, there
Food,
was arts
drinks.
and crafts, there was a great lunch, there was
a DJ.
There was a DJ, there was activities, there was prizes given away. There was every 20 minutes or so, there was a dance party with all the characters. Like you said, there was SpongeBob, Scooby, Shaggy, and the Minions, Puss in Boots, and they were all out there taking pictures, and just the looks of pure joy on all the kids' faces, and not only the kids' faces, but the parents' faces too. It was just something to see. It was great.
It definitely puts everything in perspective.
Yeah.
When you go to one of these things.
Because honestly, we take advantage of a lot of things. All the times we can just go to the parks, and it was just really nice to see other people get that experience too without needing to go to the park to get it.
Exactly. And I mean, even other than that, even going further to a further extent of saying that a lot of these families, a lot of these kids have needs that aren't being met. And that's not saying that their parents aren't doing it. Their parents are working 200% to fulfill the needs of these kids. And just because of a lot of unfortunate circumstances, they're not in the best situation in life.
Yeah.
And places like Mend tried to help support those types of families to get them in a better place. And it puts my life in perspective of how lucky I was. I did not grow up rich by any means.
Oh, yeah.
At all. We had our problems for sure. But I definitely was privileged to a certain extent, and I could appreciate that, and I understand that. Mm-hmm. And this kind of situation definitely makes me appreciate how I was raised in what conditions.
Yeah.
So, I think it's good for us to see that, and also makes me want to jump in and help and do whatever I can to make these kids' days or these families' days brighter.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to see those kids just literally like a light bulb light up when they saw these characters, when they saw the games, when they were handed these prizes and stuff like that. There was even free books.
Yeah, I forgot about that part.
They gave the kids free books, and in the tent they had ages. For some reason, the sign said 0 to 4. I don't know what kid who's 0 is gonna read, but
well, they get read too.
That
I think all the way up till 4, they get read too, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had all the different age groups and different books associated with those, so the kids could come up and take them. I mean, I talked to some of the volunteers, because there was a lot of volunteers there, and the person that was in the book stand said this place was filled earlier.
Yeah.
They're all gone.
Yeah.
There was barely anything left by the time that we showed up and took a picture.
Yeah, well, that's good.
So, it's just a really cool thing that Universal has been doing for the past 27 years. And I'm really excited to see them keep doing this for years on end. And maybe even extend it out to different parts of the community, too. And not just in the San Fernando Valley. Maybe it could spread even further.
Yeah. And it's nice that we get the chance to shine the spotlight on this. It's not like later in the episode we're going to be talking about a ride opening, and Universal expanding this park and doing this and doing that, and that's all great. It's exciting, but I am super happy that I get to shine a light on this aspect of what the Universal company is doing, because it's stuff that not a lot of people even know. I mean, heck, they've been doing it for 27 years.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know, so I mean, it's awesome.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. It's kind of a shame that an event like this doesn't get the publicity that it should. Yeah. Because in the grand scheme of things, if you're looking at news, it's more important to hear that there's something like this happening, and maybe even make other families aware of this opportunity.
Yeah.
Not to show up where the minions are showing up, but that there is a location that they could go to for help.
Yeah.
Like Mend. I think it's more important to hear about that than it is to hear about, oh, Infinity Falls is opening up at SeaWorld. Oh, Disneyland is having these problems. Mm-hmm. This is incredibly important to know. And anybody who's listening, who lives in the San Fernando Valley, who does find themselves in a rough position, make sure you go to Mend. Yeah. Because there might be, a refuge for you there. Yeah. Or, anything that might help you guys along in your troubles. So, I'm just glad that we do have that moment, like you said, to talk about this, because it truly is important.
Yeah.
Much more important than anything else that we talk about on this show.
Yeah, I agree. It's nice to use our
reach,
our nerdy podcast to just put a little good news out there in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'm glad that after the two semi-negative news stories, we got to end it on something that was like bright and shiny and happy. I mean, Christmas and spring.
Put
Come on
things in
now.
perspective.
Oh yeah, definitely puts everything in perspective.
We can't go to Disneyland every Saturday in July. Yeah, shame on us.
I know, it really makes me feel like a piece of crap. I feel terrible now. Should we just stop?
No, we're okay.
Okay.
We're okay.
Good.
I
Definitely
have volunteered at Mend before. My conscience is clear.
Oh, you have?
I have, yeah.
You did it with Rainbow?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know that.
For people who are wondering why Gabe just randomly shouted Rainbow, it is
Rainbow!
The International Order of the Rainbow for Girls, IORG. You can go to gocaiorg.com. It is a wonderful, wonderful youth group for girls. It's sponsored by the Masons, who are not an evil organization either. I'm going down a rabbit hole here. It is a very good organization. Go check it out. GoCARainbow.org.
I would like to point out that Nikki said that because when we first started dating, I think it was when we first started talking.
Yeah.
You told me about being in Rainbow, and I was like, oh, what's Rainbow? You said it was part of the Masons. And I called my brother.
You out.
I called my brother. I was like, this is the girl that I really dig, but she's part of the Masons, man. I don't know what to think. And he's like, what's the problem with that? I'm like, don't they worship the devil or something?
No.
And he's like, no, dude, you should join. It's awesome. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Ask one to be one.
And there you go.
Yeah. But anyway, go check it out. And shout out if I have any random rainbow girls out there listening who didn't know I was one. Come at me. Send me a message on.
Come at me, bro.
No, just send me a message on Facebook or an email. Just
Yay, Rainbow Girls.
Yay, I'm one too, or something like that. Let me know.
Yeah.
I like hearing from you.
That's true.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Maybe there are some Rainbow listeners.
You never know. I'll be someplace random.
Never see them coming.
No, I'll be someplace random. I'll have something my jacket on or something, and someone will be like, "Oh, I was in Rainbow, blah blah blah, in '94," something like that.
94.
Well, that was the year they were an officer or something. But it's it's like they it's like you like to see each other. You don't know. So.
I feel ya.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
it's like seeing another Boy Scout or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think Rainbow's better than Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts.
Oh my goodness. Saying controversial things like that on a family show like this. How dare you?
It's not controversial.
I don't know. I just wanted to stir the pot.
Well, anyway, it's not a creepy, crazy organization. We do good stuff. We volunteer at Mend. So we're good. We raise money for charities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, away from Nikki's big dresses and being in a rainbow.
In a rainbow.
Did I say in
Yeah.
a rainbow?
Yeah.
In rainbow.
Help, I'm stuck. It tastes like Skittles.
You're ridiculous on so many levels. Anyway, so we're about to take a small little break here, and when we come back, we're going to be at Universal Studios Hollywood to talk to you all about Dreamworks Theater featuring Kung Fu Panda. Hello, and this is Gabe and
Nikki.
And we're sitting in line here at the Dreamworks Theater at Universal Studios Hollywood. So we came here and there was a huge line to get in, filled with all these annual pass holders waiting to get their first looks at Dreamworks Theater. But Nikki, can you tell them what happened in true theme park fashion?
The ride broke.
Yes, something went wrong. And this time in the real world. So currently the ride is down. They've come to us multiple times and said, like, hey, we don't know when the ride's going to come back up. Everyone pretty much bailed. Like, half the line is gone. We're in the extended queue in the back. Our back is facing the Hippogriff roller coaster and the stage over in Hogsmeade. And everyone just bailed. They were like tearing down the chains, and it was a free-for-all.
It was anarchy, and people were taking advantage of it to like cut and like move forward in the line. And I yelled at a few people, and that's not my normal personality.
No, you got mad.
I did.
It's just unfair when people start doing that and take advantage of a situation like this. But luckily, the Universal staff were pretty much on top of it, and we're really, really good about getting everybody the information, being as patient as possible with everybody, even though those people probably weren't deserving of the patience because they were being a little jerky.
A bit rude, yeah. People yelling like, "We can't hear you," when the guy was trying to make his announcement. It's like, just wait. He'll move farther down the line, and then you'll hear him. It's okay, But people just get really nasty.
Pretty much. So right now we're just sitting down, kind of waiting it out. We have a certain amount of time that we're willing to wait to see what happens. Next time you hear us, you're going to hear an update on what's happened here. So we'll see you guys in a bit. So the last time you heard us, we were in line for the Dreamworks Theater Kung Fu Panda attraction that Universal Studios is going to be opening up rather soon. And we ran into a bit of a snag.
Yeah, the Dreamworks Theater broke down. So we were waiting there for about an hour and a half. We're like, okay, well, we'll keep waiting. We're here. I'd say at about 2 hours, 45 minutes, something like that, they kicked everyone out of line.
Yeah, so they gave everybody express passes, which is honestly really, really cool of them to do that sort of thing. They don't have to do that, but they know that a lot of people came here who are annual pass holders who were excited to go into this attraction, and now they probably can't.
Yeah, so we made lemonade out of lemons, and we saw Waterworld.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And he didn't take our express pass. But, with the situation that we were kind of placed in right now, we were obviously planning on doing this episode all about the attraction. But now that we haven't and probably won't get a chance to go on the attraction, we needed to find a way to salvage the episode. And honestly, a topic that Nikki brought up that I thought was fantastic is how to roll with the punches when, you're faced with the unexpected when you're at a theme park.
Yeah, like our only reason for coming to Universal today was to go in the Dreamworks Theater and to experience the new Kung Fu Panda experience.
Attraction.
Yeah, attraction.
I say attraction because I'm not 100% sure what it is either.
Yeah, it's a show. So, so that was the only reason we came here today. So it was like, okay, well, if we can't do that, are we going to let it ruin our whole day? Or are we just going to, mope and go home and, just be completely bitter about it? Or are we going to, turn it around and have a good day anyway? So,
because this can happen to people who aren't pass holders like we are. We come here all the time. So we definitely have a better understanding of like, okay, well, if this doesn't work, then we'll go do this or we'll go do that. And today has been a series of, hey, this didn't work out, hey, this didn't work out, hey, this didn't work out. It didn't just start with the Kung Fu Panda thing. As everybody knows, Nikki is currently how many months pregnant?
6.
6 months pregnant, and I lost count, sorry.
It's okay.
And we have to make sure that she can be able to do a lot of the attractions. So coming today, we were 100% unequivocally positive about the fact that she could ride the tram. So walking up, we're obviously really excited because it's the one thing that we can experience together. That's kind of a ride, and, it'll be fun. So we walked up and we saw the sign that said, warning to expectant mothers. So immediately we were pretty disheartened because that was one thing we were very much looking forward to.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people say, it's Universal, covering themselves. It's just a liability thing. You'd probably be fine. And yeah, I would probably have been fine if I went on the tram tour, but is it worth the risk? No, it's not. So, you know what? Yeah, just better safe than sorry. So I didn't ride the tram tour, and then we were there at 9 in the morning going, okay, well, our time for the Dreamworks Theater is 11. What are we going to do for the next 2 hours? And, we didn't let it ruin our day. The lines were very short because it was the very beginning of the day. And so I told Gabe, go ride Simpsons. I'll wait for you. And I ended up just waiting in the line with you because it is a fun line. You get to watch cartoons, and you get to see all the little kind of fake stands that they have in that waiting area, and you get to hear all the characters talk. So it was fun. So I waited with you. It was about 10 minutes, and then I just waited for you to finish the ride, and it was fine.
Yeah, and I got to ride Jurassic Park as well and Transformers, doing single rider for both of those. And the good thing was that I gave you the camera, and you were able to kind of walk around and take photos yourself.
Yeah.
So it isn't like you got put off to the side because I got to ride these attractions because you're pregnant. It's we're making the best out of the situation that we've been given. Even though we come here a lot, you were disappointed.
Of course I was. Yeah, and I like the tram tour, and I always had it in my head okay, there's a lot that I can't do here while I'm pregnant, but at least I can do the tram tour. And then when I realized I couldn't, I was like, oh darn, now what am I gonna do? So I was disappointed. It got me down for a second, and I was like, you know what? No. It's the beginning of the day. I'm not going to let it ruin my whole day. So then we decided to make the best of it. And I took a great picture of you coming down the drop on Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and I was front row, and you accidentally took a picture of some other blogger by accident that was here as well.
I did. I wasn't sure what boat you were going to be on, so I took a picture of a few boats.
The fact that you were one boat off was rather impressive.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was really, really cool that you were only one boat off. Good timing. Very good timing.
It was good luck.
A lot of good luck then. But yeah, so obviously today has not gone to plan whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. So we thought doing this episode kind of about figuring out what to do when you're faced with those kinds of issues, especially if you're coming from halfway across the globe or from a different part of the country. Like I said before, we're Anglo Passholders. We come here all the time, so we kind of know what to do. But if you don't come here often, you are probably going to sit there being pissed off that you didn't get to do what you wanted to do. You didn't get to ride Transformers, or you didn't get to ride Forbidden Journey or something. There are a lot of other really cool things to do here at Universal Studios Hollywood, and just in general when you're at other theme parks. You just got to look a little deeper at the entertainment offerings. And in this case, one of our favorite things to do is go see Waterworld. So we're completely enamored with Waterworld. We see this almost every single time we come. So anytime something actually happens to our plans when we're here at Universal Studios Hollywood, we immediately say, okay, when's the next Waterworld?
And lucky for us, it was only 15 minutes after we got kicked out of the line for Kung Fu Panda. So we went straight there with our express pass, and so we got front and center, right the seats exactly where we wanted, and we watched a great show. We came out at the end, fingers crossed the Kung Fu Panda would be back up. It wasn't. So now we're here drinking a butterbeer.
Exactly. And honestly, a lot of people when they think, oh, a theme park, they're thinking, oh, I'm going to go on all the rides and all this stuff. Make some time to sit down and just enjoy the environment, because as you hear right now, we're sitting in the middle of Hogsmeade. We're sitting in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter at the usual table that we sit at all the time.
Yes, we have a favorite table, a favorite spot, and we're staring at Hogwarts right now. It literally, I could stay here for half a day, pregnant or not pregnant, and be so happy.
Yeah, and it's a situation where you're just enjoying the environment that you're in. Like Nikki said, this view that we have right now that we're staring at of Hogwarts is probably the best view of Hogwarts in the park, other than standing right in front of the attraction. And appreciating and valuing that moment of peace and quiet to a certain extent. I mean, we're completely surrounded by people talking, but peace and quiet to a certain extent of this moment is something you could definitely do if things don't really go to plan. Go find a quiet place to sit down and relax. Go have a beer or something if you can have a beer. Go get your favorite snack and go sit down. Like if you're at Disneyland, go grab a pretzel and go on the Mark Twain and just circle the rivers of America with a pretzel in your hand. That is probably one of the quintessential things you could do at that theme park if things don't go to plan, because that's something that's always running.
Yeah. Speaking of Disneyland, We just went to Disney California Adventure with your parents.
As we mentioned earlier in the show.
Oh, yeah, we did.
We recorded this episode 2 different days, so the whole intro where we were like, we're going to go on Kung Fu Panda, yeah, was yesterday. So things have changed just a little bit.
Yes. I was trying to casually throw it over to our next point of discussion. Didn't work very well, but that's okay.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for your casual throwing of conversations.
I don't throw anything casually. I try.
No, you really don't. It's really awkward most of the time, but it's funny and cute, so don't worry about it.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, anyway, we were at Disney California Adventure with your parents last Thursday, and we had a basic idea of what we wanted to do, but we didn't hold ourselves too tight to anything. We knew we wanted to do, well, not me, but you and your parents wanted to do Guardians and Racers, and other than that, it was pretty much just free to just go with the flow for the whole day, and I think it worked out really well for us.
And I think a big part of that is not having such a rigid outline for the day.
Yeah.
That is a big part of the planning process. And I think when going to a theme park, try not to set up these expectations of, I'm going to do every single thing that they have in the park, because you're not going to. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Or
saying, I need to ride Guardians. If I don't ride Guardians, my whole day will be ruined. And a lot of people go to the parks with those expectations. And, you gotta give yourself room to still enjoy the day if things don't go the way you want. So, it's just that's the right mentality to go with, and I think that's the main point we want to try to get across in this episode.
I mean, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you go to a theme park and you tell yourself, I'm going to have a terrible time if I don't do this, it's going to happen. It's what is it, the chaos theory. It's going to happen.
I still think you jinxed us, Gabe, because on our drive...
I did not. You're a liar. I did not.
On our drive here, you said, we're screwed if the ride breaks down. We have no episode.
Excuse me, clearly we're not screwed because we came up with a really good topic. Thank you very much, okay?
Just saying, you jinxed us.
I didn't jinx us. Jinx us? Jinx us? I don't know what I'm talking about. But at least we have butterbeer, okay? At least we have this and we're sitting down, relaxing, recording, and Nikki's, talk Nikki, you're drinking. Talk. She's trying to get all the foam out of the cup.
I'm working on it.
I did not get fire whiskey in my butterbeer like I had said.
The line for the bar was way too long.
Yeah, the line for the bar is usually sticking out of the door. And I just don't want to wait for that. There was 3 people in line for butterbeer. I'm fine with just a regular butterbeer in that case.
Yeah, it's just fine. Tastes just as good.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I could get fire whiskey at home anytime I want.
Honestly, though, we haven't eaten lunch and we had a very small breakfast, so you probably would have really felt that fire whiskey. Right
it would have been a fantastic day at Waterworld.
A whole different podcast episode.
That is for another time and a whole different show.
How to really get over your disappointment if your day doesn't go the way you want at a theme park if you're over 21.
Just drink. I'm just joking. Don't do that. Don't listen to us. It's a terrible idea. Don't do that. Just drink fake alcoholic beverages like butterbeer, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, just rolling with the punches and being able to be versatile in what you're doing at a theme park really can give you the opportunity to kind of change directions really easily so that your day isn't completely ruined by one mishap, because as we're talking about now, we had 2 mishaps in a row and it didn't completely ruin the day because we're able to adjust and make our way to whatever we want to do. So, and I think this works at every single theme park. I think it happens more often at Disney parks than anything else because I feel like the standard for Disney parks are so high that everybody wants to accomplish a certain amount of things.
Yeah, and I think there's just more room for error. Not error, but I think there's just more room for things to go wrong at Disneyland because there's just so many things going on. There's so many cogs and turning in the wheel or whatever I'm trying to say. You get it.
No, yeah, there's just so much stuff going on all at one time at a Disney park that things can more often go wrong.
Yeah, if you're there for one day, the wind's too strong, no fireworks, you were waiting for years for this trip to see fireworks and then you don't, that could really put a damper on your day, so there's lots of things that can go wrong.
And this isn't saying you're not allowed to be disappointed. You're 100% allowed to be disappointed. For crap's sake, you were disappointed about not going on the train. What we are trying to say is make the best of your situation. Don't allow that one instance of disappointment to cause your whole day to be awry because of this one instance or mishap. I think when going to the theme parks, just try to go in with a mentality of you probably won't do everything. Things are probably not going to go to your plan that you wanted to go to your plan. Just make sure that you're aware of that, because then your trip's going to be a lot better. You're going to have a lot more fun being able to be versatile in the situation.
It's pretty impossible to do everything in one day anyway. And one thing that I really like to, well, I guess just one piece of advice that I would give anybody is go at opening. Go at opening, go at opening, go at opening, because you can get on like 3 or 4 things, and then, if something doesn't go your way later, at least you can say, hey, at least we already did all this other fun stuff,
Exactly.
I'm not saying we won't still go on the Dreamworks theater thing. By the time we're done recording this, maybe it'll be open.
Who knows? I mean, it very well could be open right now, and we have to say the secret password that we have to say in order to get back in line.
Yeah, I forgot it.
Is it like Uganda or something? It started with a U. It's definitely not Uganda.
Unagi.
No, it's not that either.
No, that's from Friends.
Uruguay? It was Uruguay.
Uruguay.
No, Uruguay. Anyway, by the time you hear this, you can't use it, so haha. Anyway. Well, we're going to head out now. We have finished our butterbeers here in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And the next time you hear us, we'll be back at home. See you guys.
Bye.
So, we're back.
Yes, we are.
And if you recall, you should, because it was just a few seconds ago.
If you don't recall where we were a few seconds ago, you might need to go to the doctor.
Concerned.
You might want to go to a brain doctor. I don't know what the brain doctor is called. So I'm going to call him a brain doctor.
If you recall, I said, full of hope, that maybe by the time we finish our butterbeer, it would be back open.
Yes, you did say that, actually.
And guess what?
What?
We finished our butterbeer, we walked out of Hogsmeade, we turned the corner, and it was still broken.
So we spent that time and we walked over to Walking Dead, and actually we took pictures of the construction going for Halloween Horror Nights over in the corner.
The Parisian Square.
In the Parisian Courtyard, or whatever it's called.
Uh-huh.
Then we went to Walking Dead.
Yeah, and then we checked back, and it was still broken.
Yes, it was still broken.
Yeah, but then we said, what did we say?
We were going to leave. So we were like on our way out. We were walking by Minions just to kind of take a look, and then we were going to walk down Baker Street, and we were literally on our way out.
Yeah, and then I think I said something like, I just keep hoping that I'll look over and it'll magically be open again. So we
That's essentially what you said.
Yeah, so we walked by one more time, and they said,
it's still broken.
It's still broken, but if you get in line, we're probably going to be open in 15 minutes. So we got in line in the sun, and 25 minutes later, we got in, and we saw the Kung Fu Panda experience at the Dreamworks Theater.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Now, overall, on just kind of not going into quite detail yet, what was your thoughts on the attraction itself?
I was entertained.
That's good. At least you weren't bored.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Well, I don't know how to say my thoughts without more detail. I was entertained. It was cute. It was a little disjointed. Yes?
Yeah. Okay. So I think it is an incredibly big upgrade to what Shrek 4D used to be.
Yes.
And it was much, much needed. So I'm glad that location is still like a theater show that could be a people eater, but is significantly higher quality. The picture is crisp. The actual effects are really good and well done.
The seats are upgraded.
Yeah, so the seats are much smoother at times, and kind of what they're able to do is kind of neat. And overall, I had fun, like you said. I was thoroughly entertained. I thought it was funny, and I had a good time.
And you pointed out something very interesing.
What was that? I don't remember. Something I did was interesting? I'm just interesting in general, aren't I? I'm just weird.
Well, uncharacteristically insightful? I don't know.
Thanks? That's a little... That felt mean.
You're the one that went down that road.
I'm
I just
shallow,
followed you.
apparently.
No. No.
Nikki got caught. Nikki got caught.
No, I just don't know how you got shallow from that.
Well, you said uncharacteristically deep, so the opposite of deep is shallow.
No, not deep. I said insightful.
Oh, whoops.
The opposite of insightful is
I'm
not
also not good
shallow.
at listening.
Apparently not. Well, anyway, you said that, well, it was something I didn't think about, that the fact that they called it Dreamworks Theater, nothing from the outside has anything Kung Fu Panda. Everything is very changeable, so they can change up what show they have in there just by switching out the marquee out front, because they're not tied down to having this one attraction in that theater for years and years. They can switch it up, they can keep it fresh, and I think that's brilliant.
Honestly, it's a better way to promote new films in that manner than it is when Disney just says, hey, let's take out our 3D show and put in a trailer and a clip to promote the new film. Like they have Incredibles over in DCA right now where Muppet Vision used to be.
And also it's a moot point now, but how Bugs Life Theater just, became like the screening for, a whole bunch of sneak peeks for new movies, but it's like you're in there and everything surrounding you is reminding you of it's tough to be a bug. And
Pretty
you just
much.
want to see it's tough to be a bug.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, so I think this is a really, really good way to market new films. And like you said, nothing on the exterior of the building, or even for that matter, interior of the building.
Yeah, nothing.
Other than a couple props.
But those can be
posters.
switched out, though.
Yeah, read as Kung Fu Panda, and it could be very easily changed, and I like that. I like that a lot.
Even the posters lining the exit and entrance of the theater are just from all of their past films, so it's very general.
Yeah, and I could very much see this being used for like a How to Train Your Dragon attraction, or anything else.
Yeah.
Puss in Boots.
Anything.
Any DreamWorks thing that they could dream up. Honestly, dream up DreamWorks. Anyway, with all the positives being said, there are a few negatives that go along with this.
Yeah.
And it mainly revolves around the story of the attraction. So essentially what you do is when you come into the attraction, you're told by the characters themselves, you're welcome to the DreamWorks Theater, and Poe comes out and says, we have to go on a mission, essentially.
They have to deliver this thing to the Emperor.
Yeah.
By boat.
Yeah, and then all the DreamWorks characters, which you see Donkey and Shrek and the Trolls and a few other characters, Gingerbread Man come out, and they all want to join in on the mission, but
the
then
Madagascar, the Madagascar animals.
it was the zebra.
The zebra and the penguins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And basically they're told, you can die, and they all kind of back off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
And then we are the ones that end up being taken along that journey with Poe to go to the Emperor.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a few details in between that I'm not sharing because I kind of want to leave it a little bit to a surprise.
Yeah.
But what ends up happening is when the theater kind of starts the show, it looks like you're attached to Poe's boat.
Yeah. So you're in another boat, essentially.
So I guess we're in another boat.
Yeah.
Like, we're never specifically told you're in another boat. The theater is just being dragged by another boat, and then all the chairs are moving like you're in the water.
Yeah.
So there's this weird disconnect in story of how we're being pulled in the theater, but then characters interact with the theater at times.
Yeah.
So the story just doesn't work. And the one thing that I think you may have pointed out, I don't remember who said it, me or you, but it felt like they wanted to make a motion simulator attraction that was on a much smaller scale, kind of almost like a Star Tours or something.
Yeah.
But decided to do it on a much larger scale in a theater. Minions is in a way.
It doesn't work quite as well in a theater.
Yeah, it doesn't work quite as well. I mean, you don't get that sense of adventure.
Yeah. And it for me personally, it felt like the whole production was kind of split in half. Like, it felt like two different things entirely. You know, the first half and the second half felt like completely disjointed things, and the second half was phenomenal in the technology and the way it was used and the way it interacted with the surroundings. It like blew my mind.
I mean, my jaw dropped.
It was
in
awesome.
the way that they were doing it, and
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it to do exactly what it did.
Yeah.
I had an expectation in my head for what the attraction was going to be, and it kind of blew those expectations away.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, for a non-3D attraction, but still a screen, it's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And the picture was unbelievably crisp. Like, so crisp.
Yeah.
It was really well done for what they were trying to achieve. I think they pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I'd say so. And, like, as much as we complain about, like, oh, the story wasn't quite, you know, cohesive or, you know, made sense or whatever, it was a fun time. It was, you know, it's definitely worth the trip through the line and through the queue and waiting for it. Cause
I mean, I'd
fun.
wait for it again.
Yeah, totally.
I would totally wait for it
Yeah.
again. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. It made me laugh.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. Like, even though there's this problem with the story, whatever. I'll go on it again. It's
Yeah.
great.
And I know we wanted to touch on momentarily, like, your experience in the motion seats, and then Preggers over here was in the stationary seat.
Prager nets.
Yeah.
My potato.
Potato gets a stationary seat.
And you were sitting right next to me.
Yes.
So you got to look at me moving around, but then you also got a view of the entire audience moving around, which
Yeah.
must have been a bit odd.
It was a little funny. It was a little fun watching everyone like move. Like, I could kind of imagine what it would feel like being in that seat. Like, so being at, like, personally, my experience in a stationary seat, the first half was a little boring. Like, my attention wasn't really captured until the second half.
Yeah.
Which, that's when just things got really visually stunning, you know? So that was my experience. Like, I still enjoyed the whole thing, you know, and, you know, the majority of people listening will be in the motion seats if they go. So, you know, it's really not that big of a deal. But I just thought I'd give my perspective.
No, that's great. And
Yeah.
my perspective from a seat that is moving, I felt like all the movements made a lot of sense, but there were times where that seat jolted forward so fast that it shocked me a little
you said
bit.
You were startled a lot.
Yeah, a little startled that it went forward so fast. I don't know if it's just my seat or if I'm a big baby, but it did it pretty hard. And if your back is a little sensitive to those kinds of things,
You
maybe
might
you might want to sit in a non-moving seat.
Yeah.
Just FYI, because I don't want anybody to go in this assuming like, oh, it's going to be a lighter version of things.
Yeah.
No, there were times where I was like shocked at how hard it jerked forward or backwards or something. So it's just all good things to know. And overall, if we were to give this attraction a letter grade, I would definitely give it at least a solid B because of its entertainment value, how funny it is, how cool it is, and the technology that's involved in all of it and how versatile it can be. I think that's all pointing towards a pretty fun attraction. I mean, the general public is going to love it. We're only nitpicking it because we're nerds.
And we're not, like, diehard fans of Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, that too. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm a diehard fan of any Dreamworks attraction. I haven't even seen Kung Fu Panda, but I enjoy it thoroughly.
Yeah, it was fun. And I think what I said when we were leaving was I gave it a solid C+. And I think part of that was probably because I was in the stationary seat. But, you know, I was still super impressed by everything they pulled off and just the quality of the experience.
Mm-hmm. No, 100% agree. And if you guys go and visit Universal Studios and are able to experience this attraction, let us know what your thoughts are on the attraction. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Was it meh? Did you like the moving seats? Did you sit in the non-moving seats? All that kind of stuff.
Was it broken down for half the day?
Well, now that you brought that up, I do have to say, and I don't remember if I said it on the other recording while we were there or not, but the team members that were there dealing with the crowds while it was broken did a fantastic job.
Oh, yeah. They were passing out little water bottles to the people who were waiting in the sun.
That's classy.
Yeah, that's super classy. And then, you know, they handed everyone a ticket to
Express pass.
Express. I was gonna say FastPass. an express pass for
Wrong
up to
part.
6 people to to go on another attraction, and it was handled really well. Even around 2:30 when it finally did open back up, just the efficiency to which they handled the hordes of people who had literally been waiting all day.
And they were calm.
Yes.
They were calm through it all. Even when people were yelling that they couldn't hear them.
Yeah.
Even people taking down chains and just bombarding the exit, just after people were just being terrible human beings, they still remained calm.
Yeah.
They took care of business. They did their job and treated people with respect, even though some people may not have given them that same treatment.
Yeah.
And that shows, like I said, class, and they were taught very well how to interact with guests. And I cannot say more good things about the people who were running that attraction that day. I seriously can't.
Class act all around.
So if you guys were there on June 3rd working the Dreamworks attraction and you're listening to this, thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
If you know somebody that worked that attraction and were there at that time, tell them thank you very much for doing a job well done.
Yeah.
So that pretty much wraps up the episode. This was a weird episode because
it was a roller coaster of emotions.
yeah, we thought we were gonna go on it, then we didn't do it, and then we had to switch plans, and then we went on it, and then we're doing this now.
This was the most fly by the seat of our pants episode we've ever done.
It was kind of fun. Not gonna lie, it was exciting to not know if we were gonna have an episode to drop.
I hope it was entertaining to listen to.
Albeit a day late.
Yes.
So that's fine. But still, we hope that everyone enjoyed this. And like I said, if you rode the Dreamworks Theater attraction featuring Kung Fu Panda and the Emperor's Quest, make sure you let us know on social media what you think. And all of our social media is Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, all under Theme Park Duo. So just look for that. And if you haven't already, make sure you head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star written review if you're enjoying the show. 44 people have left us reviews on iTunes, which is kind of bonkers. And there was a couple people from the UK who left us some reviews as well. So I guess 46.
People love us internationally.
Yes, they do. At least 2 people.
Hey, it counts.
Yeah. So if you haven't done that already, make sure you do go over and do that, and we'll give you a shout out here on the show. It just really helps us make the show a lot more available to everybody, and so they can enjoy us like you are right now. And if you want to contact us via email, you could always email us at
themeparkduo@gmail.com.
Thank you again for listening to this roller coaster of emotions episode of our show. And as always, there's always a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. See ya!
Thanks for riding with the Theme Park Duo. Make sure to gather all your belongings before the end of the podcast. Bye-bye.